Welcome back to the Slightlee Daily Podcast. We got another new episode here. First one of 2023. We're going to call this episode 149. Matthew's been on here before.
Yes, sir.
This is Gerard's first time. So
G-Money.
let's just start with you. Introduce yourself a little bit. Who are you? Where are you from? That type of shit, man. Just a little break, a base layer here.
Okay. My name is Gerard McQueen. I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee originally. Then I came to MTSU, so that's why I'm in Murfreesboro.
Okay.
In 2013. Graduated all that 2020 with my master's, bachelor's and master's.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Smart.
So,
Yeah, I got my back. Yeah. Hey, dude, that's awesome, man. It's one thing to get that, because I have my bachelor's from middle too, and it's one thing to get that, but then to get that extra
You're a real one.
certification, yeah, it's hard to do. My mom did it. My mom's a teacher, and
nice.
she's got, it was like almost expected for me and like my brothers and like my family to go. You're gonna at least go to college,
Right.
you know, and it was like you're gonna finish it. Like there was like no expectation past that. So that's awesome, man. What was your majors, and like what did you go to school for?
So I originally went to be an athletic director. Well, that's what I wanted to do at least.
Oh, okay.
And I majored in leisure sports and tourism studies.
Okay.
And then I got really involved with like the fraternity I was in, just a lot of different like stuff on campus.
Yeah.
So I was in SOA, if you're familiar with that.
Okay.
Just a lot of different roles on campus. So
Yeah, very involved. I recognize you, but I've never. I don't think we've ever met before, but I recognize you for sure, because I was at middle from like 2014 to 18. So
okay, so yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty much when I was.
Okay, nice.
Probably cross paths at some point.
Yeah,
Probably,
for sure.
yeah.
Know it.
I was. You look familiar. I just couldn't.
Yeah,
couldn't put it
right.
all together,
Same.
so.
So cool, Matthew.
Yeah, man.
How you been, man?
I've been good. Look, I got my phone over here opened out because I really wanted to say this. I've been
Yeah.
talking about all this. It's just
Yeah.
like, first I want to thank God, because this year has been crazy. Like from the last time we talked and everything else, it's like I dropped 5, 6, 7, something like that, shirts and
Yeah.
leggings, everything else. Like we heated up the streets this past year.
Yeah.
I told people,
It's
y'all
coming.
that the last year, when I was on here, that we about to really
Yeah.
light it up, and I was like, y'all gonna remember me. And here we are back again. It's crazy. Growth's been retarded, but it's been a blessing.
That's good, man. You're one of those people, man, that just has like such like a bright spirit. Like like there's some people that just have like no enemies, and they're just like a joy to be around. You're always just one of those guys. For
I like
me,
to play the middle. I like to be right in the middle. It's like,
Yeah, well,
I don't
obviously
want to
you're
go
not
no
like a
extremes.
pushover. Yeah.
I'm not
Not
like,
that,
you can
but-
try me. It's like, you'll find out real quick, like people did
For
when I was
sure.
working security.
No, I know.
But it's like, there's no reason to be negative out here. It's like, there's enough negativity going on in this world.
Exactly.
Like, why not be positive? Be that light for somebody
Yep.
else, because I done been through some stuff, and I know other people been through stuff. So it's like, why not be that positive person in somebody's life? You
Yep.
could be the reason they're still here to this day.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll also say this too, man. So I've been going to the gym since like November now.
Okay.
You're one of those guys that keeps me motivated too,
Big
like
man.
like watching your story and stuff. There's a couple people. There's another person. Shout out to Nikki. I had like a conversation with him at a party, and like he's like a big guy, built guy, and I'm like, damn. And like we were talking about, I was like, bro, I don't know, like, cause like I'm sure I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about this, but like people who are. It's a perfect time to do this too, because New Year's resolution. People were like, I need to go to the gym. People feel like anxiety, I guess, kind of starting out when they go. So like, what would you kind of tell someone who's, hey, I'm about to start this New Year's resolution, New Year, New Me thing, but how do you stick to it?
Just be consistent.
Like
literally just show up. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes some days, just get in there, get used to being there all the time. It's just like, once you get that in, then you can worry about, all right, now let me see if I'm doing this stuff right. Let me see if I'm doing this, and how much of this do I need to do and stuff like that. That's the best way to do it, is just like, go. It doesn't matter. Don't care what everybody else is going to think, because everybody else has the exact same insecurities that are in the gym.
Yes.
Most of the time it's like that, and it's like, people see me and it's like, oh, I'm scared to come up because I'm the big guy in the gym, and it's like, let somebody else that already knows me, they're like, hey Matt, can you help me with this real quick? And I'll be just, oh yeah, what's up? Okay, all right, I'll come over there.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, you're doing that right, and watch them and everything else. It's like, I might not be a personal trainer, but that's what I'm working towards now and stuff like that. So it's like time to build that in, because it's like, I already know all these things. It's like 10 years of trial and error, just done on my own body. It's like now I'm into stretching a lot more. That's
Oh
my new
yeah,
thing.
that is a big thing too, because it's like, I mean, I have no intentions of like stopping. I like it. It's I work from home mostly now too, so it's nice to like get out and just do something that's not, you know, it's inherently a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Exercising. It's a positive thing. It's mentally good for you and physically.
Facts.
You know?
Yep.
And I go to Planet Fitness, I see old people in there and I'm like, hey, they're walking and like they're doing light stuff, but it's better than sitting on your couch eating chips.
Exactly.
Right.
It's how
You
I
know?
look at it. Always. It's like if you're at least trying,
Yeah.
that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
You always feel good after a workout, too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's one thing I've
Endorphins,
noticed. Too, I've been like really talking to my friends about. It's like, I don't know, like this is a crazy analogy I had, but like, you know, when you play like you get off Xbox, you're like, God damn, I've been playing for 4 hours. That kind of guilt you feel. You don't necessarily, I don't feel that as much when I'm like, well, at least I went to the gym today, you know, and I worked.
yeah.
You know, and like I ate pretty decent today. I don't feel like I got all like the important stuff out of the way. Now I can kind of like
Relax.
I can play on the game now. You know, like
yeah.
kind of guilt free. I had like a full conversation about that, but like, so you guys work out together. Like I see like
somewhat. I mean, this is like literally what everybody else doesn't know and everything.
Okay.
G's about to be officially part of grind season. He's
Oh, okay,
the first
nice.
person
Yeah.
of the grind crew
There we go.
officially and everything else. It's like this year without G, like if you look at all the pictures and everything else, almost every photo shoot, at some point G was in it. Like the
That's
main
awesome.
video that I actually paid for with Cross, which shout out to him. It was fun doing that with him and everything else. I got G up in there. It's like, who else am I gonna call? Like, why not my big swole friend?
hey, there you go.
Like, I like the camera, you know.
Yo,
I like
the
working
camera
out,
loves
so
him, too.
Camera loves
Well,
me
like,
too, so.
so do you like have like an interest? I mean, well, I guess it's kind of modeling, but do you have like an interest in that, or like being like that like fitness influencer like lane? Like, do you have an interest in that? I guess.
I do. I'm just not exactly sure how to go about it.
Right.
Because it's not something I never really
Yeah,
thought about
yeah.
doing. But it's something, if I could find the right person to kind of get started, I definitely want to pursue that. So.
Oh yeah, man. That it's like I said, dude. I think life is just about habits, period.
Facts.
But like you got to have like good habits and like good routines, man. Like I just not even I don't know what it was, but like around like October-ish, I kind of had like it felt like the New Year's resolution thing for me, and I started like being more conscious of like sleep and just like
Listen to the body.
yeah, honestly, I don't know. It's hard to explain, and it's hard to do to get into,
Oh, yeah.
to break a bad habit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
facts.
because like it's like I said, dude, it's easy to sit down and watch Netflix and drink beer.
Facts.
It's
Oh,
easy
yeah.
to do that. It's like comfortable. You're like, this is fine. I'm chilling right now. Why would you want to like step out of your comfort zone? You know? Yeah. So talk to me a little bit more about what's going on right now with the clothes and stuff.
Right now, it's going great.
Yeah.
Working on the first drop of the year. That's in the work. We've been talking with the boys. I
Mm-hmm.
already got the order in and stuff like that. So this one, we're about to really heat up the streets. It's like video, pictures, everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're going out the whole 9 yards and having G officially on and everything else. So I want to just teach him the ropes and everything else. It's like I know what it takes, what you need to do behind the scenes and stuff like that. And I just want to start showing other people like,
Yeah.
all right, look, hey, it might not be at the end of the day, G, with me like 10 years from now, but I want G to be out here with his own business, out here making good money and stuff like that. Like, I want to see other people grow because it's like over the last couple of years, all I've done is listen to other people, you know, in this work, and like in the bodybuilding area, T-shirts here and there, people that own business and everything else. And it's like all of them gave me all that game for free. So I'm like, it's might as well just give it back to somebody
Right.
else. It's like, I'm going to show G like, all right, look, hey, this is how this works and everything else. It's like, I just want to put on like, this is what I've learned over the last like 10 years, just not going out partying and all this stuff. It's just like, I just want to give it out. And it's like, so when people see like, oh, now G's blowing up and everything else, it's like, Matt really knows what he's talking about. And it's like, oh yeah, now y'all can come work. Come on, come work with me.
Yeah. Yeah. And why would you keep it to yourself? Like, what gain do you get from that besides being the only person you know with like
It's no fun then.
like that's I mean like yeah, I guess I could see like I did it, so why you could maybe feel internally like well you got to figure this out because I had to figure this knowledge out, but like it's good to like I mean, the whole point of, from what I understand of the brand is like helping people. Helping people, you know.
Oh yeah, it's like
so
it's where the grind don't
and
stop.
motivating
It's like,
people.
I'm trying to help people elevate to the next step in life and stuff like that. It's like if you're willing to put in the work and the time and stuff like that, it's like, hey, look, this is how we're gonna do it. Because it's like you seen what I've done over the last couple of years. It's like I'm not going anywhere. We stay in here, and it's only getting bigger and bigger. I'm appearing in events nobody thought I'd be at. It like, hey, how'd you get in here? Like, I just was talking about getting some food one day at a restaurant.
What events?
Like the first one I did, the start of last year, after I dropped those shirts, the Grind Don't Stop ones and the black and green, I was literally going to BYT. Shout out to my boy Chance, because if it wasn't for him, I would have not have been at the Heavy House. They opened a gym in Lewisburg, and I was like, just in there getting some food, and Chance is like, hey, yeah, this gym's opening up and everything else. And I'm like, oh, that'd be dope. It's like, you want to do a pop-up there possibly? And I was like, well, yeah, let me know who I need to talk to.
Yeah.
I don't care if it doesn't go through and stuff like that, oh well. But if it does, I'm like, that's just, just showing how the year's going to start off right on the right foot and stuff. So shout out all them people at the Heavy House that let me come in there, because I had a great time, met a lot of new people. And there's several people I told that we would work together. That time will come. It just hadn't come yet.
Yeah, for sure. What kind of makes you want to like stick to, like, what kind of made you want to get into like clothes, I guess, specifically? Is it because it's maybe like the easiest way to get like your brand out there? Like what kind of attracts you, I guess, to clothes?
Yes, no type question. It's like, I've learned, like, washing cars and everything else, I've learned to see other people be happy with something I did or something like that. Or, oh yeah, I've learned this, I know how to do all this, let me show you. And just seeing that pure joy and happiness on people's faces and stuff like that. Like, you can't beat that other feeling. It's like something I did, gratefully impacted them in a positive way.
Right.
So, like, being that positive figure in somebody's life or whatever it takes. It's like, I show people I'm going to do it how I do it. You don't like my music? I don't care. I'm moving around slapping. I'm like, the system's only going to get louder.
Yeah.
I'm just, hey, the more money I make, the more the system gets louder. So we're going to have fun with it too. So it's one of those things. It's like just helping other people. It's like that's what motivates me in the gym now. It's like just seeing other people like clocking in and stuff like that. Like what started as just all of us having fun.
Yeah, no, I see on your
keeping
story.
us accountable.
Yeah. Hey,
start
did you
during
go
COVID.
today? Yeah,
like just keeping us accountable and stuff like that. And it's just like. And then when people started reaching out to me, it's just like, oh, wow, this is really showing like, hey, now I'm going to get back in the gym. Hey, can you help me with this? Yeah. So it's like, okay, I am doing something good. And it's like finally something in life that I enjoy doing. It's not working 9 to 5 and stuff like that. I mean, I have a normal job. Shout out to my boy Aaron and Jacob at the shop. But I enjoy that. I enjoy that job. But like working at FedEx, it was like, it was torture.
I delivered for Amazon for a year and a half, man.
Yep.
I mean, it's chill because you're by yourself, but also, because like we all have like our creative endeavors and stuff outside of work, and it's hard to find that motivation. Cause you get home at 6, 7 o'clock, you eat, you look up, damn, it's 8.
Yep.
I got this video I've been sitting on. I needed to edit for 2 days now, and it takes forever, and you got to muster up that motivation to do that type of stuff. So, pivoting a little bit here, G, let me ask you this. So, how long have you been like working out like seriously, like hitting the gym seriously?
So I probably say since like 2015.
Okay. So quite some time.
Yeah. So
okay.
I always did sports since I was a little kid.
Okay.
Also, my dad, military.
Okay.
Retired on Fort Campbell's base, and then we just.
Clarksville. Okay, yeah, I got you.
So I've always been energetic, always, active. I was the kid that was like always outside.
What sports did you play?
So I played basketball first, and I also played a little bit of baseball until about high school. And then my sophomore year, I got cut. You can't see. I obviously didn't grow too much on the height side, so basketball didn't.
Basketball's tough, man.
Yeah.
You got to be tall. So like, it's funny. Like I'm like 5'11" now. When I was younger, so I played basketball till I was like 12. I was like taller than a lot of kids back then. I was
same.
I was like taller so I could play back then. And then I tried out for the middle school team in 7th grade, and I didn't make it because like all the kids were like they were like I was still height wise kind of there, but like I was just skinny as hell. So like they had a little more meat than me. So I just stuck to baseball through high school. Baseball's one sport, dude. It doesn't matter how
miss it.
Bigger, yeah.
Dude, you can be a fat man and be a great pitcher, or you can be like Jose Altuve for the Astros. Is literally like 5'6"
and just hitting home runs.
Hitting.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like even David Ortiz. That's who I looked up
Yeah.
to. You see him out here. He's like, hey, he got a good, but hey, guess what happened? You pitch it high and in, it's over.
It's over. It's gone. Okay, so let me ask you this though. So all right, you've got like the habits of the good habit of like going to the gym and stuff. But let me ask you a specific question about like diet. Do you give me some advice, me or anyone who's like just now getting into like working out and stuff, about like what you should, like not what you should eat, like you should do this and this, but like give me like a couple pieces of advice that you can about like what you should eat.
So I guess I could just say what I would eat, because I'm not a nutritionist.
Right. Well, but still, but you're conscious of your food though. Like you're not just like eating Laffy Taffies for lunch and just being like, boom, that was good,
Right.
So like, yeah, just kind of talk to me a little bit about how the importance, I guess, of diet.
Yeah.
In that regard.
So for me, the main important things is like, one, having a good lunch, because I usually work out in the afternoon.
Okay.
So like after work, pretty much. So
right.
I never want to put anything in my body that I'm gonna it's gonna make my workout like tougher to where I'm gonna
slow you down.
Exactly.
Little bit, yeah.
So a lot of pasta. I usually have that, or like rice. One of the two, and then
carbs.
Some type of vegetable. So usually like broccoli, but I like my seasonings, so I throw my seasonings in there.
Yeah. What's the like? I know sodium. Like, what's the like the deal with like oils and like sodium and stuff? Like, I don't know. Because like you see people
I can briefly
say
touch on it. I know, but people think sodium is really bad. But as much as we work out and stuff like that, we have to take in a lot of sodium to keep in water. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
Like, that's what sodium helps with, collect water and keep it in the body a little bit longer and stuff like that. So that's one thing you'll see a lot of bodybuilders taking in a lot of sodium and stuff like that, mixing salt with pre-workouts or just their water
really,
and
just
stuff like that.
salt?
Yeah, like my pre-workout, I'll put just iodized salt right there, just right on top
Interesting.
of it and everything else, and go into the gym just to help, just a little added benefit. I mean, but if you do look at some of pre-workouts, a lot of them have a lot of sodium in them already. And that's a lot. Nobody really notices. They think sodium's bad because what are fries covered in? Salt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
salt. All that
Yeah,
salt.
yeah,
This is what's
salt.
killing you. It's like, well, yeah, if you have too much of it, but if you work out and sweat a whole bunch, you need it. Because it'll keep that water in and keep you hydrated, so you're not really cramping up and having all that lactic acid build up just, in
making
the system.
you super sore. So all right, are you guys big like pre-workout guys, or like?
I am.
Okay, because there's there's like some, I've seen like some fitness people, they're like, nope, just water. Just I'm going in. Like, some people are big haters of the
you can take it
pre-workout.
first. You can take
I
it
like
first.
caffeine too, so I'm a coffee in the morning guy, maybe 2. So like, I can vibe with both. Kinda. So I don't know. So why don't you like pre-workout?
So
I can
go
talk
ahead.
on it.
Why or why not, I guess.
I mean, I've started to enjoy it. I found that I hate beta-alanine, and that is,
what is that?
AKA what most people call it, if you watch More Plates, More Dates, is itchy booty hole. You know how you get itchy, that itchy feeling as soon as like everything starts tingling.
Yeah.
You just want to scratch your forehead and all that. So that's the one thing that always turned me away from pre-workouts, was that it's like, I don't want to itch. I hate that fact. And it's like, once I started doing more research, watching videos on it and stuff like that, then it's like, now I'm really picky when it comes to pre-workouts. Because then I'll look at something and it's like, oh, this only has 250 milligrams of caffeine. I'm like, but I know what my pre-workout has. It has over 375 for like the 2 scoops, because that's the efficacious dosage and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'll look at it. Oh, you have only 3 grams of creatine? Like, you really would be in that cheap, because creatine is the cheapest product supplements you can buy right there. And I'm like, it's only got 3 grams in it. Why not 5? I mean, because most people, that really work out and stuff will probably need at least 5 grams a day.
Okay.
So, like, I've gotten to that part where I've started to look into it and break
you read
it down
the label
more.
and
I'll read the label and everything else. It's like, there's a lot of people who's just like, they don't care about that. They want to know it tastes good and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, yeah,
and get your
go ahead and get that.
get
Get your little hyped up and everything else. But I'm like, I started to look into it, because it's like, the only time I have caffeine is in the morning. It's like my pre-workout is like that 375 milligrams is the only caffeine I have.
So that's
throughout
what
the
you
whole
do in the morning.
day. First thing in the morning.
Okay.
and y'all get my workout in, get my day started. That's how I do it. But it's like I don't drink any other caffeine and stuff.
Okay.
Like shooting back to talking about diet and health and
Right.
stuff like that. It's like easiest thing you can do is just start making small changes. Like from sauces, instead of getting, the regular barbecue sauce, get like, was it G Hughes barbecue sauce? Because it's
Okay.
like 15 calories for 2 tablespoons and stuff
Okay.
like that. Like that's the easiest thing you do is make small changes first. Don't try to go out here and be like, all right, I'm done
only
eating
gonna
fast
eat egg
food.
whites
I ain't
and-
eating fast food at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can still have fast food. That's what people forget. It's like you got to have
Yeah.
balance at the end of the day.
Well, like,
give and take.
From what I've interpreted, you can eat pretty much anything. You just have to, like you were saying, you just have to balance it out. You have to burn it off, and
Exactly.
replace it with something good for you.
Yeah.
Because I think, dude, you see these like big bodybuilder people. They're like, I only eat egg whites with no seasoning and a plate of rice and just water.
Yeah,
Like
that sounds
that's
awful.
that's miserable,
That
man.
sounds
Like,
awful.
I know you look incredible, but like
They're at that point
like,
though.
come on, man.
They're at that point now. I fully understand it now though, because it's like I used
Some
to look
of
at
it's
it crazy.
competition.
But
I
yeah,
mean-
like whenever you get to that point, that's the only way you can just maximize everything though, because them eating that exact same meal every day, they know exactly how much they're taking in
Yep.
and everything else, or pretty very closely to it and everything else, and they've just maximized that. They don't care about the taste. They've hit that point where it's just like, no, I'm trying to look the best I possibly
it's
can.
fuel.
And at that point,
Right.
they
Purely
look at it as
fuel.
fuel. They look at it as
It's just
fuel
there
and
for
anything
business.
else.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
literally.
I'm locking in for the next so and so long and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, hey, 3 months before summer, people will lock in. Oh, I got a show in like 3 months. That's when they'll start really seriously getting locked in, dialed in on it. But it's like, it's one of those things that is not made for everybody. Please don't not try to go out and like, all right, I'm starting to diet. I'm doing chickly broccoli rice. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. You'll be back at square one, and you'll waste a whole bunch of time.
You'll start to hate it.
Yeah.
You'll start
You hate
to
it.
like resent the lifestyle. You'll be like, this fucking sucks. But it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to suck.
No.
Like
Right.
obviously, you're sore. You're gonna be like sweating and suffering, kind of. But like, it's not supposed to be like torture, though.
Right.
I don't know. If you
Like-
saw me in the gym, you thought I'd be living my best life. I'm dancing around
Right.
and everything else in between
Right.
sets because it's like, this is me just resting. But I'm like, I'm living in the moment. I enjoy working out. It's
Right.
fun now at this point. It's like, no, it's like, I'm not trying to be the strongest in the room. It's like, let me make these small improvements because now it's like with all the stretching and stuff, like I'm taking all these pictures and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm seeing more definition and everything else. And it's like, oh, now I'm really learning how muscle-mind connection really works and all that. Like, it's a whole game. It's not just going in there and pushing weights.
Yeah, I need to start. My girlfriend, I'm trying to get her to start going with me too, but I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sore. She's like, did you stretch? And she keeps saying that. I'm like, yeah, but like,
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
it's
but
like you
no,
stretch.
I hit like one of these. And
Yeah,
All right.
no, it's worth it in the long run because it's like, I had a talk with my boy Jacob while we were at work, and like on Sundays we'll be up there. I don't even work. I'll just be hanging out, and we'll just start stretching, hanging, and talking. And but it's like, it's one of those things. Like if somebody try to sit down right now, sit Indian style and stuff like that, crisscross applesauce, whatever you want to call it, it's like, oh my, it hurts. And it's like
Yeah.
when you're a kid, that used to be the funnest thing to do, to sit down like that. And
we
like
used
now,
to be able to bounce around and
And
Oh,
now
yeah.
that I've gained some of that, flexibility back and everything, I'll see myself just standing up now a lot more. And it's like, oh, you want to sit down? No, I just want to stand. Because it's like, I done got used to my body, just listening to my body.
Yeah.
Because now I'll just sit and I'll stand up or I'll just squat down. I'm like, I'm not even going to sit down. Like, no, I'm just going to hinge at my knees. And
Yeah.
it's like, I'm stretching my knees back out. And it's like, my knees haven't felt better. It's like I've torn both meniscus, but
Wow.
my knees feel better now than
Oh
they
my
did in
God.
high school whenever I first started working out.
that's wild.
Because I'm just more flexible. I got more mobility.
Yeah, well, like growing up playing sports and stuff. I mean, dude, when we played before practice or games, dude, we literally would stretch for like 20 minutes, like literally. And before we did anything, before we ran or tossed anything, we stretched. And I mean, it is important. So like, I guess so. Are you basically doing like light yoga, or like what would you say? Would you say the difference
like,
is?
it depends. Like
Like,
some
you're not
nights I'll do
fully
it at the end of the
doing,
night.
like, a yoga routine, but you're
No.
stretching more.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm listening to my body. I'm finding out what is tight now. Like I'm to that point where I've worked out enough that I have the mind muscle connection to flex muscles. And it's like now once I go to stretch it, if I have a spot where I'm like, ooh, my knee gets stuck here a little bit or something like that off, it's like, all right, there's a tightness somewhere in my leg or my hip and stuff.
Because
and
it
I've
is all
started to
connected.
stretch.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, because, like, if you're weak in, like, your ankle, by, like, your right ankle, if you got to, like, stretch, like, all the way to, like, your hip, you know, because all your muscles are connected.
Yeah, and it might not even be your actual ankle. It could be your hip. It
Right.
could be your back or something to tighten your back.
Yeah, or even your back. Your back is a big thing. Like, have you guys ever been to the chiropractor?
I have not.
I'm terrified of that.
So-
they're gonna be like, yeah, so you have all this stuff messed up.
It's also it is kind of sketchy too because they're not even technically doctors too. So like
Yeah,
it's like they obviously go to like chiropractor school and stuff, but like they're not like licensed medical physicians. But like
I didn't know that.
yeah. It's interesting,
ain't
but
either.
I've been a few times. It feels incredible. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
like there's like certain like parts of your back that they will like crack, and it like will release like stress like all the way. Like it'll like cure like headaches if you have like migraines and all kinds of stuff. Like
it's blood. You know, it's the blood flowing completely through the body. It's like that's what I've learned. It's like now even with doing all these stretches, it's like doing some of the same workouts. I've lowered the weights and stuff, and I can actually feel what muscle it's actually hitting all the way, like from the top and all the bicep and stuff. When I do bicep curls and stuff like that, or if I'm doing like calf raises, I can feel what part of the calf it's actually hitting now and stuff like that. And it's just like, if I'd have been doing this a long time ago, there's no telling where I would be at now already. It's ridiculous.
let me ask you guys this. This is for both of you guys. I want you guys both to input on this. All right. How important is it for men to do leg workouts?
It's very important.
Oh, it's very important.
Very important.
I'm just saying, dude.
There are
you
so many
you
benefits.
Look funny if you're like this
Yeah.
and you have ankles that are this small.
Those
like,
are the people.
you guys
everybody-
please please tell the people how important that is, because yeah.
So
Go ahead, Chief.
I'll go back
They
to when
know
used
I
to
got
wrestle,
2 leg
so-
days a week.
So when I got done wrestling, right, like even when I was wrestling, like my upper body was significantly bigger than my lower body, and I really didn't start working on legs until about a few years in. Like I was doing my leg days, but
Yeah.
you're kind of like
Not really hitting it though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
once I started doing that more, first of all, my body evened out more, but also like at the gym, like I got more compliments from the ladies. Like they don't know. There's not a lot of ladies that I've encountered that really were coming at me when I was just the upper body was big and the lower body. I look ridiculous. Looking back at pictures, I was like,
funny.
I look like I'm just fresh out of prison or something like that.
about
you know?
just
like
only
Yo,
push-ups
man,
are
that's it.
pull-ups.
Right.
Yup.
But like after, and also just I do a lot of other like recreational stuff like flag football, like I'm in a basketball league, that kind of stuff. I never realized how fast you still could be when you work on your legs, because I was always fast, but I feel like I took another level. As
Yeah.
far as, I probably feel like I'm more athletic now than I was in high school.
Wow.
Like, I can't jump as high because that
You
one
need
part
to start
that's
stretching.
As age, yeah,
You need to start stretching.
Yeah, that might be it.
You need to start grabbing your toes.
Oh, yup.
But I mean, like definitely, like I feel like I'm a lot quicker, and definitely a lot more like fast going up and down like a field or something like that. But yeah, I think like a full balance of the body is definitely needed. But those are things you don't when you're in like middle school and high school. You're just like,
I want to
gotta have a good bench press.
Yeah, like I want to
you know.
I want to have like, which is great to have a full chest, man. But like it just looks funny, man. And I feel like it's honestly kind of not healthy because, all right, yes, you are fit from here up, but like, I just feel like it's gonna like affect your joints and stuff when you get older because you're not
It's gonna come back to get you.
Yeah, you're not using like those muscles and joints and tendons and stuff. You know, you're gonna freaking blow your hip out.
That's yeah.
You know, like
exactly.
So
you got to think about it. You're getting heavier up top and not doing anything to grow your bottom half.
Exactly.
And it's just that's putting you already at risk. Like right there is just think about that. Like, your body's gotten used to supporting a certain like that much weight, and now you're putting on more up top, but none down there, and helping that out.
Exactly.
Like, evening it out. And I'm like, I'll look at it and say this. The one thing is like, hitting legs, you'll probably burn more calories. Most likely, you'll burn more calories. I mean,
I feel like I sweat way more when I'm like doing leg presses and stuff.
You don't understand how much more of the body you use when doing legs and stuff like that. Because most of the time, it's not just legs. You're also hitting, like core. You really have to keep that tight when you're squatting and stuff like that. You got to do all these other things, and it's like ever since it's like I've done leg days. I love it. I do it twice a week. I hit the front and sides on Tuesdays, back sides on Friday and stuff like that. And it's like, I enjoy it. It's like I've even put on some girls and stuff like that, helping them and stuff like that. But it's like, the one thing I've always remembered is like, do the things you hate the most. It's like, if you hate legs day, do it the most. You get the most benefits out of them.
Yeah. Because there's a reason.
Just in life.
Because it's hard. Your body knows it's hard. And there's a reason that it's hard. Like, it's hard because you're going to get the most out of it. Because it's hard to achieve. If like
it's that mental,
yeah, your body's like, this is gonna suck. Like
once you get through it, it feels,
you're like, wow,
I
feel great. Yeah. All right, another thing, cardio. How important is cardio? I guess cardio's hard, man. I mean, it's hard to. I'm not an endurance. My thing when I played sports growing up, I was fast, literally 90 feet.
Right.
I was never like I'm never gonna get you an 8-minute mile. Like. I could if I'm literally booking it, but I'm dead after. So, talk to me about like cardio. How important cardio is. I mean,
you will take this one first.
Yeah. So,
it sucks.
See, cardio is pretty important, and it's a lot helpful also when you're lifting too, because it helps you with that stamina. Like if you keep your heart rate at a solid pace when you're just doing cardio, when you go to do other exercises, especially when you're doing leg day, your breathing. It's just going to help that. It's going to help you probably. That's an extra couple reps right there, just doing cardio. That will help you when you're doing those leg workouts, especially that. And then for like your upper body stuff, it just helps your breathing.
Yeah.
So you're kind of at a better heart rate. You're keeping your heart rate at a better pace. And then just normal daily activities. You
don't feel as heavy. I feel like because I don't do it every day. I don't, at all. I do it maybe two times a week. I don't run. I will maybe get to a mile walking and running combined, but like, I just don't feel as like heavy. Like, it's weird. It's like a weird feeling, but like, I don't know. Like, after you eat like junk food or like if you're like super hungover, you feel like just like your insides feel kind of like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like after I run, it kind of like cleans you out, cleans you
detox,
out. Kinda. It
detoxes.
That's how
all it does is because most of the time you lose weight through sweat. That's what you really lose your weight from.
Right.
So running, being that whole consistent pace of running, it's going to help that. It's going to help your cardiovascular system, which is like the most important thing. It's like if you don't do anything, do a little cardio.
Yeah,
and guys, one thing. You'll last longer in bed, bro. Come on now. Like, we're playing around, beating around the bush. It's like, my boy, he started working out with me a little bit, and he was like, hey, man, I got to talk to you real quick. And he was telling me about this, and I'm like, I mean, you didn't tell me this was a part of it. I'm like, it's benefit. Think about it. It's endurance. Your stamina's up now. It's higher. Yeah, you can last a little bit longer now.
You're
like,
not wrong.
That's just an added benefit of it. It's like you're living a better life, and that's there. Now, hey, look.
It's cardio.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, you getting practice in. Hey, now you got a reason to go run.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just overall, man. Is that like I was saying, like just every day is a routine, and like there's habits inside your routines, and like having like just healthy routines, and like is a good thing. But I think I hate seeing people online talk about like, oh well. New year, new me, not even that. I hate people shaming people doing that. It's like, well, at least that they're trying. They're trying, and
that's a start.
And maybe 1 out of 10 people actually stick to that. They're like, oh, I'm going to read books this year. I'm going to eat good. Like maybe one person actually did that.
Right.
So
I did. I read about 4 of them, and then I went on to living life, and I was just like, all right. I'll get back to reading when the time's right, when it cools down. And that's when I started reading again. Once it started getting cold outside and I wasn't all go, wash cars, sell shirts, do all this,
yeah,
I was good.
I've been wanting to read. Like, I've been telling myself, I've been needing to, like, get off my phone in the game and go read a book.
Just do it. Just spend like 5 minutes a day.
I know.
So not even nothing long. Just literally just get up, hop on it, start reading a little bit randomly. Just like right after we get done. Just read a
Right.
little 5 minutes here
Yeah.
and go out it. And that little 5 minutes could turn into an hour, but it might just be 5 minutes.
Yeah, it might
but
be. You might only get one chapter done.
Yeah, sometimes just a chapter a day
Yeah.
is like
That's
like
enough.
perfect.
Do you read often or like?
I
what is
haven't in a while because it's kind of life's just been kind of all over
Yeah,
the
yeah,
place.
for
So usually when if I read, I need to be in like in a calm like environment and calm, just
and not
mind-
distracted.
Yeah, like when everything's going 20 miles, 100 miles per hour.
It ain't
Yeah.
about to happen.
It's kind of it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
With me reading because I want to be fully in it, like in the book and focus and getting something out of it. I don't want to just read, just be like, oh, I read it.
Yeah, skim
you know?
through it and not retain it, even if it. Because like my thing is like I love sports books. My grandma reads like I'm sure all of our grandparents. You got at least one grandparent who just can bang a book out. My grandma, I watched. She's got a closet full of books. So it was when I was younger, I read books all the time, and when I was growing up for like birthdays and Christmas, she used to get me like all these. I have them over there, but like these sports books. Like about baseball, like there's one I have about like the steroid era in baseball, like interesting
Books.
stuff. But like it doesn't have to be like. I feel like it was messed up in school because they force us to read
Yep,
like
exactly.
a
That's why
bunch
I
of
hated it.
stuff that we
That's
didn't
exactly
care
why I
about.
hated
Yeah.
reading in
But
school.
you give me a freaking Babe Ruth book, I probably would have read that thing and sat there and like retained it and learned something. Or
It's
like
like
a cool history
the
book.
David Goggins
Yeah.
book I read,
Yeah.
I read that
My
book in like
friend
2.5
actually-
weeks, something
my-
like that.
yeah.
I've never read a book that fast in my
Wow.
life. Normally it takes me a month plus, and I read it. I'm just sitting here knocking out pages. I'm like, bro, I'm halfway through this book already. What? And it's like,
Yeah.
but it was finally just something I enjoyed, and it's like, okay, all right. I can see how I can apply this in my life, but that's a good one. It's just that one's all mental. It's like a whole
Yeah.
mental book of being a very mental. You can't take everything, you gotta like, hey, okay, yeah, that's only David Goggins. would do
He's
something
extreme.
like that. He's going to the full extreme to
Yeah.
show you that it is still possible. It's more in your mind, but it's like you don't have to go that far. Like I ain't about to go out here and do all that craziness, run out
Yeah.
marathons.
Run
You
50
see me
miles
running
a
a
day.
marathon, there's a problem. All right, it ain't about
you
to happen.
okay?
Cardio. That's cardio though.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'll stick to my little 10 to an hour of cardio on the elliptical where it's nice on my knees.
Right. Just get that
Yeah,
good
that-
bike going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do for like hobbies or habits outside of like just lifting weights? What do you guys do?
So I'll be honest, I go out. I'm
Okay.
a social.
Yeah.
I like so I go to work, I work out, and then during the weekends I love like hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
Just because I like having that social.
Yeah.
I'm a extrovert. No, I'm an extrovert. I can't even say I'm introvert,
No,
extrovert. I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
I need people. I need all the energy.
Yeah.
The goofiness. All
That's
of
how
it.
my
I need
girlfriend is.
people.
We're almost like I'm an extrovert, but only with like a few people, like a few of my
Yep.
friends. Like we're
Yeah.
getting older too. My battery runs out quick.
Right.
If I'm like out, my girlfriend,
Go forever.
I can call her like when she gets home, and be like, "Hey, you want to go out?" Okay. Like, but so like.
Introverted,
So that's kind of like
extrovert.
what your like thing. I think it's important to do stuff that you want to do and not just be stuck in this like freaking box. Like, oh well, I gotta save. What if I just need to save a little bit of money? Like at the end of the day, yeah, there's responsible things to do that you should do. But like, dude, you really only have one life.
Right.
You gotta enjoy it
Exactly.
every once in a while. We're doing crap we don't want to do all the time, especially if you're working a job you don't like. That's like 80% of your life,
Right.
You
And
know, I
some people
that's
don't get it, and they're
crazy
like, bro, why
number.
does my life
Yeah.
suck? And every time I'm like, most time it's just you're working the job you're working. That's literally
Yeah.
what it really comes down to. It's like every year I post a recap of the year to show like, I talk about always working all the time, but here goes all these trips and stuff like that. We went to Knoxville, had
Yeah.
us a great time up there
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like we'll find our ways to have fun and stuff like that, but it's like people just don't fully understand. It's like I'm living the life I want to live. Like
Right.
I'm out here with all my boys having great times. Every time we link up, it's like a movie. If people were just recording us the whole time, it's like this could just everything could be an episode like them hanging out. That's it. That's all it would take is a cameraman just randomly recording all of us, and they'd be like, how do they do this? And it's just like us just bouncing off each other, having a
Right.
great time, just completely living in the moment and stuff like that. That's what people got to learn, how to just live in the moment,
Yeah.
be happy with your situation, what's going on and stuff. It's like, I know I ain't making the most money in the world. My business ain't the biggest business in the world, but it's like,
But you're
I
doing
started it.
But you have a
I
business.
started it. It's growing and
Yeah.
everything else. I'm putting the time in. It's like, oh, I've had these accomplishments. I've met all these people and stuff like that. Like just bodybuilders I've met and stuff like that. It's like people forget to think about all the things they have accomplished and stuff like that already. Because it's like, I never would have thought me washing cars with my neighbor would have me out here washing cars that cost $100,000, and people just handing me the keys and trusting me with it. I'm just like, I'm 21 years old and you're handing me keys to this car. And, and you said if I ever wanted to borrow it, you just call you. What?
Yeah, that's.
But it's like I started to learn. It's like they just trust me. It's like they know I'm gonna do the right thing and everything else. And it's like, okay, all right. So now let me try to give back at other people's. Like I might not have the money, but I'm like, that's where I'm giving off all the knowledge and stuff like that. So I've learned.
Yeah, having just a thankful mindset. Is it like religious or not? Just being thankful in general. Just
exactly.
Just as it's just a easy thing to do as well. It could always be worse, man. You know,
exactly.
You
couldn't even be here. Like, think about it that way.
Exactly.
Like, you woke up this morning. That right there should be enough to be positive. I don't care what's going on, how somebody talked to you crazy. You got to have the patience to be like, all right, they might be going through it right now. If you can think about that first before you just snap back out at somebody, that right there is just growth in a nutshell.
And like, you know, we're in our 20s. We've seen a lot of shit happen, you know,
just
like
in the last few years.
That's what I'm saying. Like just since 2020, we're the last 3 years have just been insanity.
Right.
You know,
nobody had nothing like that ever happen in their lifetimes. Like everybody's had something experienced in their lifetime that nobody else has experienced before, and it's like here we are having ours, and it's like all right. How we gonna grow from this though?
Exactly.
We get back to norms and stuff like that. We got to make new things, do new things. Like the world is changing, and we got to be okay with that. But we can still have fun. We can still do things like this. We just might not be able to get away with some of the old stuff we used to say or do stuff out in public. And it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. You know, you can't do some of the things. But if you look back at the past, it happened back then too. And just stuff like that. It's like the world is ever changing. We just got to keep growing with it. If you don't grow with it, then you just lose yourself most of the time.
And you got to evolve as a person, too. So
yeah.
That's why, like, yeah, we can't do the same things we used to do, but do we really want to do those same things? You know?
That is a good
like,
point.
Yeah, you got to think back. It's like, well, we actually working toward the end of that, or are we just more just hanging out? It's like, once you look at it that way, it's like, okay, all right. And it's like with most rappers and any kind of artists and stuff like this, why is so-and-so making music like this? Well, have you thought about maybe this is something he's always wanted to do, but he just never had the point in his life where he was secure enough to actually make music like that? Like Youngboy, they made like some rock song. It's like, why did he do this? Why did he put it out? He said F it, and he did something he wanted to do.
Yeah.
It might not be the best song in the world, but he's trying to show growth and get into a new field that he actually wants to be a part of, most likely.
Yeah,
like he'll show himself. Yeah, like these people are showing. It's like they're trying to grow and evolve their music. If you're not willing to grow with them, then just listen to their old music. Don't complain to them about it. It's them trying to show their growth. That's what I've learned. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, why do I not listen to like the New Gates or something like that? It's like, well, he grew and everything else and doesn't make the music that I listened to at first. It's like, but now I can go back and actually listen to his new music because it's like, okay, he's grown. He's been through life. New things have changed.
He's doing what he wants.
He can't think that same way for real like that. You know, he might be able to tap into it here and there, but he's like, it's not going to be the same thing as, you know, I don't get tired and out the mud type songs and stuff like that now because it's like he's out the mud. He's done got there. He's like, all right, I can
He doesn't
rest.
live that. That's not where.
lifestyle.
That's not his life anymore.
It's not his motivation. No.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I mean, he's got kids. He's got grown kids.
Yeah.
And he's been a touring rapper for 10 years. He doesn't live in some shitty house anymore, you know?
No, it's like he's growing. You
that
gotta
is
let him grow
interesting.
and stuff
That is
like
an
that.
interesting point because
I mean,
you see a lot of rappers like fan bases be like, "Oh, your old stuff was better. You changed." Da da da. Well, it's like, I mean, you
should be happy.
you're
You
supposed to
should be
change.
happy.
Yeah, do
he's
you
not
wanna
in
hear
those
this-
environments. He's
You want
talking
to hear
about.
the same album 5 times though? Like, not really.
He was talking about being on the corner selling drugs. Do you think he still wants to be on the corner selling
No,
drugs?
exactly.
No,
Like
he
he ain't gonna
doesn't.
talk about selling drugs. He know the cops probably listening now. Like, hold on, you still selling drugs? All right,
Man.
Young Thug. Look.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
like boom.
That is.
It's
I
like-
wonder how that situation's gonna turn out, dude. That's like. Well, because the thing is if I'm not mistaken, that's like the first of its kind. Like this case where they're like using like the rap lyrics and like me and my friends were.
Yes, no.
I had a conversation with my friend last night about this, and I was like, okay, Tom Cruise is in a movie. He killed someone on camera. It was obviously fake, but like, could you maybe charge him for murder? How can you prove that what Young Thug says is not just because it's music. Like you know
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all going to come down to the. It's going to come down to
man.
the fine details, you know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of self snitching they do out here nowadays. It's like most
That
people's
is
like
true.
they got to learn how to.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like a Instagram story or something that incriminates him. Okay, you did it, but I think using a song is absurd.
Like that's
Oh,
art.
yeah. It's
You
art.
know, it's art. That's,
yeah.
Art at the end of the
it's
day.
not any concrete evidence in
Yeah,
that.
it's not.
But I'm sorry, once you start saying I got him at this location, and then on the news they talk about somebody getting killed at that location.
Then it's like,
Okay.
Like, hey man, you're like, come on now.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. Like they're gonna look into it then at that point. It's like you gave us the exact time and day or something like that, or
the
something
name
like that.
and
Or you knew exactly
the
who
type
it was.
of gun and
yeah,
Like, they give too much
gave the
detail.
evidence. Like,
You gave too much detail. Oh, he got hit 5 times. There were 5 bullet holes. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
you're giving too much detail on some of these things. It's just like, oh yeah, it's like I'm not surprised it happened. I'm like, I've listened to the music. I've heard what he says.
No, we
'Cause
all
a lot of
heard it,
people,
yeah.
because a lot of people they don't hear it though. They'll hear it but don't
Yeah.
hear it. You know,
Yeah.
they'll listen to it, rap along and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they won't go
Like
to
know the words, but not really
extra
like
meaning to understand.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that was
what
a-
does slime
the
mean?
burger
They
that
don't
we just talked
understand
about. We
that.
just described the whole crime
Yeah,
scene in this
exactly.
verse. Like,
Oh yeah, and that's why I'm gonna get back to making my little TikTok videos, Black Words of the Day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
they're
you gotta
using
do that again.
slang and stuff like this
Yeah.
and all that, and it's just like you just snitching on yourself. That's all you really doing. It's like, but not everybody else catches on to all these different, you know, little cryptics and street terms and stuff like that. But I mean, the government's gonna find out. They're gonna do enough research.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
they've been waiting on this for years. They pulling up to some of the old tracks and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, they
That-
went that far back. Like,
And like law enforcement. So you guys have you guys seen like the Idaho college murders?
so I have what? Can you
Okay.
enlighten me on that? Because all I know is that there's 3.
All right.
people.
So basically, this is what happened, and I'm gonna get back to the point. But this is what happened. There was six people in a house, and like 4 of them were upstairs, and 2 were like at the the first level, like sleeping. They were all sleeping. This was like 4 a.m. and the 4 people upstairs got stabbed to death. All of them murdered, and so. This was like November-ish, like the first week of November. They just arrested the guy last week. So the point I was going to make, though, is they found the guy through like this crazy like DNA database that wasn't like they found like a tiny piece of like DNA and they ran it. He didn't have a criminal record, so he wasn't in the database. So they found like a distant relative of his that was in the database, and then like pointed it down, and they were like, "Oh, it was this guy."
mm-hmm.
So like that's the point I was making is like the justice system is like evolving with like
Oh, yeah.
with
Everybody is.
technology and like their methods and stuff, which is like okay. I'm cool with that. Let's find the murderer.
Let's find the murderer,
Let's
yeah.
find
Yep,
the
I knew.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
find
find-
him. I don't care how like
Yeah.
sketchy that is, but the young thug thing's a little.
Makes you
Unless
wonder
they
if
can
it's a
prove it, I don't know, man.
I'm
Yeah.
interested when it all like is like the case is over and they like release like documents and stuff like what
Yeah.
evidence like if
I-
what concrete evidence
Right.
really?
I mean, dude, it's such a weird one because it's hard to explain, but the guy, he was a graduate student, so it was in Idaho, right? And Idaho and Washington are like border. He was a grad student at Washington State, which was like 15 minutes from that campus. It was Idaho University, and he had a major in criminology. So there,
Wow.
it was. This is literally like straight out of like Law and Order,
Oh, yeah.
or like,
Like How to Get Away with
he
Murder.
plotted this.
like
He's
CSI.
plotting.
He's like he did a bunch of shit too that was like he was like trying to raise like reasonable doubt and like shit. Like I saw this. I mean, it's a good and a bad thing the internet is because I've seen the negative sides specifically with this case. There was. You have your internet detectives. They're like, we did it. We solved the case. Like the FBI doesn't know what the hell they're doing. But like this one person like was like, it was this woman. She had something to do with it. And literally is getting sued for defamation because like she had nothing to do with it. And then you just accused her of a quadruple murder. Like that's
Yeah.
That's
bad.
serious.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
that will ruin
serious.
your life. Like, like get her fired from her job, but like It's crazy, man.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like that, but hey, if anybody want to watch my company like that, they will see all the little details and stuff like that I've been playing games with them. Just like, oh yeah, here's the little hints and pieces. That's why I'm gonna do more inside the grinds and stuff like that. It's like I'm gonna show a little bit of it, but the real ones who really looked at everything, they'll catch on. Because it's like this hoodie, like I said on another podcast, is like it's a foreshadow to what's to come. It's like it's split for a reason. That's all. That's what I'll leave it on. that's all the information they get.
So I like your TikToks, man. Keep doing it. I have 2 accounts that I'm working on right now. I have one for I post our clips on here, and then I open like sports cards and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like on my YouTube channel, I've done it for a couple years now. I did like Pokemon cards back then too, but like I just recently I was like I'm gonna make a TikTok only for cards and just like talking shit about sports and just pure fun and
authentic.
And it's just authentic,
like
dude.
Because like our boy Kobe.
Yeah, but like with the clip stuff, I have to be a little more like strategic with like how I edit, like when I go in and edit the clip out, I have to like pick the best part, make sure take out the pauses. It's more like calculated, but with like the cards, I'll be like.
Like,
just boom. But like it's getting like it's like more pure. It's like getting more engagement that way. It's so weird. I've had the account for like a month, and I have people comment just talking shit all the time.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, but with this one, but like with the Slightlee daily account, it's like more. It has to be more like calculated. It's interesting. Not saying that I don't like to do the podcast stuff, but everyone's doing a podcast, man.
Right.
Facts. Yeah.
It's just the harsh, cold reality of that, and even just everyone wants to have a following on the internet. Even if you're not selling anything,
whether you want to admit it or not, everyone does. Have, like, a brand.
Yeah, it's like they want to be able to do their own thing. It's like that's what people are understanding, but with all these people on social media, people forget how to be authentic. Just be you.
That is true.
Like that's the one thing about the grind season is like if you don't like rap music and cussing and all that, then you shouldn't follow the page because it ain't gonna stop. As long as Hell and Dave out here still making music, we gonna still be heffing up these streets. But it's like I'm like that's the thing with grind season is like I'll have my stuff that is strategic. It'll be here and there, and most of the time there'll be little hints and stuff like to show you that it is, and then other times it's just like I'm just being us. This is me. This is how I feel. It was like I posted a picture with diamonds on, and I'm like I'm putting Hell Diamonds on. I'm playing it. I don't care. There's not a clean version to the song, but I don't care. F it. I'm like I'm seeing some of these kids out here singing some of his songs now that he coaches and stuff like this, and their parents are right there. It's like. But they get the real message. Christian's keeping it real. He's being honest with you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what happened in my life. Here it is.
And he's not rapping about negative shit either, bro. Yeah. Honestly, he's not like talking about the young thug. I killed him on Main Street, and I like
right.
They found his body at behind the dumpster.
That will never get out. If you try to put out a song like that, that's what I'm putting out the hammer, nigga. Hey,
you doing
look, hey, Dave, watch out. Delete that whole recording, nigga. Why'd you do that? That's the best verse I've played in weeks. I'm like,
sorry, man.
No,
go ahead and delete that one.
That just sounds self-incriminating, and you know how the cops already are in Chevyville. They gonna be after you, nigga. They already be watching you. Like, ain't no reason to draw extra attention. Like, let's do something else here.
That's awesome. I love seeing you guys' little group. It's awesome. I'm gonna follow you on everything too, man. But
Yard from the yard.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll follow you. I follow Dave. I've been following Dave for a while. His music and hell yeah, man. Just keeping shit. The one thing I really like about you guys is you guys like check on me, not just like because like I got into this groove with the podcast. We're almost at 150 episodes where it was like almost like it was like not like genuine. It was like people would come on here, do the show, and then like that was like it. It was like transactional, and like I started last year. I started being more like selective. Like I was like, okay, I could. Because, like, when it first started, I was just like, bang, 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 just pumping shit out. And then I started to realize I was like, okay, I'm like, this isn't like that fun anymore. Because it was like, it wasn't real. Like we were talking about.
Yeah,
it wasn't authentic.
That's why I stopped posting on TikTok. It's not because of the following or I wasn't getting the views. It's like, I'm just doing what everybody else is doing. I'm like, it's okay to do that every now and then, but it's like it's all I was doing.
You gotta play the game a little bit.
Authentic stuff and having fun and doing what I wanted to do anymore. So it's like, all right, I'm out of this.
Yeah,
it's like too much planning. It's like it's like not even. It's almost like it's like a job at that point.
And that's not what it is work.
Yeah,
but that's not what I started this show, dude. Like the first few episodes was literally like me and my friends like, all right, let's figure out how to make a podcast. Let's sit down, like, not even, and then like the first thing was like, okay, you know, the technical side with all that, you know, editing and equipment, you know, within reason, budgeting. There's things,
yep.
You know, because like,
it's a part of it.
It is, and then just like, okay, cool. All right, I have a system with how we put it out and stuff. And now let's like, how do we make a good show? You know, and then I started interviewing like artists and just anyone really, but like I was saying, like it's not that I don't want to do that, but like I just got to the point where I was like, okay, you're not really benefiting me, and I'm not really interested in like your music. There was some people like that, and it's like, no offense to these people, they're living their life, but like I was like,
it just doesn't hit you.
It just didn't hit me, but like I was doing that for people, giving people a free promo, you know, and like that's fine. Like, I'm not saying that I'm just going to start, like, I would never charge someone for this, but it's like, I just wasn't, I wasn't having fun. So I didn't put out a show for like almost 2 months last year. And that's the longest I ever went. And then like,
don't blame you. It happens.
I just needed that too, to like that reset as well.
And you got to like want to do it. It's like, like I did like a couple of years ago when like TikTok had first started, I started just doing like wrestling ones because like they were like everybody had like football ones, you know, that kind of stuff, but nobody really had like a wrestling TikTok.
And
so I was like, oh, this is perfect, and I was like, you know, just joking about the old days when I used to wrestle. But then it got to a point where I was like trying to, you know, throw in other stuff every once in a while, and you know, just funny like, oh yeah, this is like something about going to the gym, or like, oh yeah, hanging out with the bros. This is this and this and this happening, funny stuff. And then you have the one person that, you know, when you realize kind of have a following, they're like, no, we just want to see wrestling TikToks. I'm just kind of like,
no,
like
what?
It's July. It's not even wrestling season. What can I really talk about?
You can't wrestle all year round. Like you physically can't.
Yeah.
I done got to that point where it's like people say, bro, when you dropping this, when you dropping that, I'm like, I'll get there at some point, but right now is just not the time for it. Like what I want to do is not lining up with that. Like you're just gonna have to wait. It's like, or you can just go buy it from somebody else. I don't care at this point, but it's like, if I was to drop that right now, that would throw wrenches in plans that I have thought out for the last 2 years.
You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna ruin your whole plan for one person.
Right.
It's like you can't,
because if you do that, it might the quality's not gonna be good, and that's kind of I think. To button that up is, I think that's what it was getting to, is I feel like my episodes weren't as good, like quality wise, because like, you know, like with us, like we're having a stimulating conversation. Some of these kids, bro, they're like, I'm a SoundCloud rapper, and they'll come on and like, I'll be lucky. I'm like pulling teeth to get 25 minutes,
right?
You know, and I'm like, it's all about you. I'm like, tell me about this song you made. Okay, where were you at? You know, like I'm really like pulling out all the stops.
Like make me excited about this.
Like some people know how to do it and how to speak and stuff like that. You know, give you stuff to play on and stuff like that.
And it's not for everybody, man. I get it. Yeah. I get it. But like if you have these dreams of being an entertainer, man, you've got to have you got to have like social skills, or like
it's a part of the game now. It's like you got to be out here. You got to put your face out there. As much as I just want to be hidden in the background, having fun, plotting all these things and stuff like that. It's like that would be my favorite part of just being. Nobody knew who I was owner, but it's like you always just seen all these random stuff. Like, where did this come from? Who does this? Where's this coming from? It's like I would love to be just hidden in the background. Nobody knew who I was, and I'm just doing all this for fun and watching people's reactions, because it's like. I know how to like boom, 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 plot all this stuff. And it's like, even like I dropped one of the first episodes of Inside the Grind talking about the first drop and why it happened. It's just like, I just said F it and dropped it. It's like, I didn't have the logo. It came later on, but it's like, I didn't even have the logo.
The idea was there.
The idea was there. The people were there. And I'm like, let's have fun with it while we can. You know, why not? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I learned from it.
Exactly. Yep. And then as far as like, just because I've been doing like creative stuff for a few years now. I did music, and then I started vlogging on my YouTube, and then like I started the podcast, and I got Pokemon card videos and stuff, and it's like I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm doing stuff that I want to do. It's not like I don't know, because
You're
like
becoming a jack of all trades. You know, you
Yeah.
might not be the best at it, but you've learned how to do it,
Yeah.
and that'll pay off in the long run. That's what I've started to learn because I mean, I did the YouTubes, I've
Yeah.
done the TikToks and stuff like this, and it's like the podcast stuff is like I would know what all I needed to set it up and stuff like that and everything else, but people wouldn't. It's like, why do you know this? It's like just randomly watching all the podcasts
Yeah.
I've watched, being on podcasts,
Yeah.
and I've learned all these little things and here and there, but you wouldn't know because I'm like, it ain't like I talk about all these things
Right.
that I've learned because that just comes off like I'm bragging or something. It's like, but oh, what about somebody will ask about this? I'm like, oh, well, you need to do this, this, and this, and they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, I done spent all this time learning all
Yeah.
these things because I run a business. It's like it's like it paid off in the long run now having the business that I did the YouTubes. I know how the SEO works. I know how to do thumbnails. I know how to do all this stuff for the social side. I know how hashtags work. I've been playing around with it on my own stuff and all that for the last couple of years. It's like now I'm finally getting to that point where I can put it all together and show people. That's the one thing. That's what you'll get to that point where you can put it all
Yeah.
together. It'll all start clicking because that's what it's doing now. And it's like now I'm starting to bring other people on because I mean I know I can't just do it all by myself. I got to get to that point where I got other people making the content too.
Yeah.
It's like I'll take care of all the posting and all that nobody wants to do. Like I don't care about that. I'll get it done. But it's like now once I have other people that feel that way, get to do what they want to do and have fun with it, I'm like, all you got to do is throw on a shirt, make these videos you're already making and stuff like this. I'll kick you a little discount code. That's what I'm working on, getting people discount codes and stuff like that. And it's just like, we're going to have fun with it. That's one thing you're going to find. We're going to have fun.
That's good,
And
man.
find a way to make some money out of it.
That makes me excited, dude. Because I was doing this all by myself, and it's mostly by myself now. But I've recently, a couple months ago, my friend, two of my friends came together with me, and we started doing a weekly show where we would like react to like pop culture news, etc. Like basically like, yo, did you guys see the Idaho murders or like the Young Thug stuff? And like that, they really like help motivate me because I was like, oh, fine, like I don't have to do all of this by myself,
Right.
you know. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing to have people around you who are on the
patience.
same page as
the
you.
people will appear
Right.
in your life when the time
Yeah.
is right. You know, just keep your head down, keep grinding, keep working.
Yep.
And the people will come in and stuff like that because it's like, gee, like I just be hitting G up like, hey man, you think you can do a photo shoot this weekend? Yeah, I'm down. Let's go. I got a haircut yesterday.
Yeah.
I ain't been.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just struggling trying to find a way to get some post up and stuff
Yeah.
like this because it's like I done been hitting people. I was working with my boy Jacob. Shout out to him. He's out in Vegas now, but he took off. He was like, we shot some stuff, got back to working together, and it's like I've learned people will come in phases of your life and stuff. It's like if you look at my first couple pictures, who was in them? Jacob. He was the one out here taking pictures, helping me, and then it came full circle. It took a couple years, but hey, look, here we go. I dropped some new stuff. He's getting me with some people and everything else. It's growing his portfolio. I'm getting content. And it's like I'm getting the key with one of my boys because we back in doing this thing now. And it's like just life comes full circle at some points. It's like
Hell yeah.
I had to get it out the mud, find a way to get post up, and then here comes Jacob like, hey, bro, let's shoot. Hey, all right.
Let's
all
do
right, let's
it.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm down. I got the shirts in the car. I'm pulling up on the way now. Like,
That's awesome,
And that's
man.
how it went with all the little photo shoots. It level up the account. It like you can see it looks more professional, higher quality pictures and everything else. It's like, yeah, we're going to level up. I'm going to keep taking little steps and improvements here and there. And it's like you're about to see a lot of them this year. So,
Hell yeah. So last little bit here. Tell me what you guys, where to buy the clothes, I guess. Give me one last remark on what's coming, what's already here, and we'll wrap this bad boy up.
everything. We got hoodies that are back in stock and stuff like that. If anybody want hoodies, you can go to The Grind Season, THE, grindseason.com, GRINDSZN.com. You can find all the stuff there. The Instagram's the exact same, The Grind Season. Everything is well put together. Like if you find one, you can find all of them. They're on the same platforms under, or any platforms under the same name exactly. Made it simple for everybody,
Yeah.
but we got a lot in the works and everything else. This is just the start. You know, we had to come on here. It's like I've always said, it's like, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep coming back. I enjoy doing it with you there, Allison. It's like,
man.
I don't care if I'm, the business becomes a multi-million-dollar business and then they come see me up here chilling on the couch
That's
over here with
awesome,
you. It's
man.
like, oh, why is he on this little small podcast or something like that? Or if you're the biggest podcast in the world,
Yeah,
well, how
dude.
did this dude get on here? It's like, this is my boy at this point. Like, hey, we done been kicking it. We've
exactly,
been doing this
dude.
for years and we ain't going to change anything. Why? Why change what's working?
Hell yeah, man. You got any final remarks, bro? Thanks for coming on, man.
Of course, I've actually always wanted to be on a podcast.
Nice.
And we've always joked about.
There
like,
we go.
I don't know.
It'll happen. It'll happen one day. One day.
I thought about making a podcast or something like that, but I listened to quite a few podcasts. Like, you ever heard like the Pivot podcast?
Is that the sports one?
Yeah.
Yes.
It spun off. It was part of the people that were on I'm Athlete. And
Yeah.
They went
Yeah.
That's one of the. Every day it drops, I have like the notifications, all that kind of stuff, and I watch how like organic.
Yeah,
they
they're
are.
good.
The conversations.
Fred
are
Taylor,
great. Fred
right?
Taylor, Channing Crowder, Ryan
yeah.
Clark.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like. I
That's
watch
a good
every
show.
Episode.
Well, I Am Athlete was good too. Brandon Marshall is just a nut, though. but he's good though.
He's great, yeah.
But he's good on camera.
He was
and
business.
Their goals are
That's
just-
what he was looking
you
at.
can
His
just tell the
business.
goals are
it
just
was
different.
different. Fred Taylor is awesome.
Off the wall.
So I'll tell you this randomly,
Freaky
and then
Fred.
we'll cut this thing. But I'll tell you that Cam Newton one, the I Am Athlete Cam Newton interview was one of the best. I watch podcasts all the time too. That was one of like the best ones I've ever heard because like Cam Newton really came from nothing, bro.
Yeah.
He came from Atlanta, got kicked off of Florida. His journey is crazy. MVP, went to the Super Bowl. His journey is crazy.
Yeah. He
And-
even has his own podcast now.
Cam
It's,
Newton?
I think it's called.
I do not know. I didn't even know he had a podcast.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
on
either.
YouTube.
Hell
I can't, I've only watched. The only episode I've watched was the one that they had the
They had
Pivot
the
guys.
Oh,
on.
okay.
So
He
that's
had
when-
them on.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's how I
okay.
found out about it. So
That's
but,
cool.
and then I think he had an interview with like Brittany Renner. So
Yeah. Who the
yeah.
hell?
So
Yeah.
it was actually a pretty good podcast. It made me think about like that whole situation a lot differently.
Yeah, with
from her
with
perspective.
the NBA player, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I mean, that's my goal at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
like you hear the stories like that and everything else, and it's like the stories I've heard from people around here, just people that nobody else really knows and stuff like that. Those are the people I'm bringing on the grind season and hoping to give them a platform to tell their story. 'Cause it's like I don't want everybody to stay with me. I want everybody to branch out and grow their own business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, hey, come work with me. Let me teach you a thing or two here and there. You can take it, leave it, whatever you want to do with it. But it's like, come work with me. Let's put your story out here and at least let's get it started.
Right.
Get that ball rolling or something like that. I'm trying to show people like, bruh, just quit effing around. Just do it.
Stop being
Stop
scared,
waiting.
man.
There is no reason. There ain't no right time. It's like, I mean, I didn't expect to start selling T-shirts like I did. I didn't expect to sell my rims and go out here and buy some T-shirts and stuff like that. And I'm like, it just happened at the right time. It's like I was about to come to MTSU. It's like I'm getting rid of these rims. I'm like, I got all this money sitting here, and it's like, let me try to invest in something. Be get my story out here and stuff like that. So it's like it's time to start telling the story, and that's what Inside the Grind will be. It's like they'll get to hear G's full story and stuff like that. We'll be making announcements and all that. So. We got a lot to cook up, but we're just getting started.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, you guys let me know if y'all need any help. Like, if you do ever want to do a podcast, bro, let me.
Yeah, you got to get on here by yourself, too, one time.
Well, like, yeah, for
get
sure.
on here.
But if you guys need any help with, like, the technical side of stuff, man, let me know. I'll give you guys as much help as I can with this shit. I've been doing this for a few years now. It's a lot of, it's like anything, man. It's a lot of work at first, and then once you figure out like your system, it's like, oh,
It's
I
nothing.
know.
It's nothing to you.
Yeah,
it's
boom.
nothing now,
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like, all right, let me fire everything up. And
Yep.
it's like trying to explain it. It's like, it's a lot now.
Yeah,
Hold
now
on.
listen,
But
it is-
Right.
yeah.
but to me, it's going to look easy.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like when people see me in the weight room. It's like, yes, I can make these big weights look easy as hell. But it's like,
It takes
took
time.
It took time
Yeah.
to get to this
Oh,
point.
yeah.
It took a whole lot of time and dedication.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys.
Hey, I'm happy you had us again, Austin,
Let's
man.
go.
Let's
Thanks
go.
for having us.